Oh, I'm so happy to be back. I'm gonna finish this and I'm gonna be mind blown, hopefully. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay. I was told to go back and go see you in the security office, but off screen I did that because to be honest, I thought it wasn't that important, but to my surprise it kind of was. So basically what I learned was that the kid, okay, here, it doesn't seem like I can skip this, so I might as well just read it again. As we climbed up the stairs, I licked some ketchup from my fingers. It tasted of tomatoes. I suppose it only made sense. It made sense? Since arriving at Leimu, I hadn't eaten a tomato. I wasn't sure I had ever tasted a tomato before coming to Leimu. Basically, I totally lacked all memory of eating tomatoes. But still, I had knowledge of what a tomato is supposed to taste like, and that ketchup has the flavor of tomatoes. According to Sora, evidently, I have only lost the memory of my personal past. Amnesia. Apparently, even if I didn't possess a memory of eating tomatoes, I still possess knowledge of the ketchup between tomatoes and ketchup. I still possess knowledge of the connection between tomatoes and ketchup. What was more, it wasn't just tomatoes. In every moment of life that I've encountered and that passed me by, for every scene to reach my eyes, or words to reach my ears, I was able to distinguish correctly between the reasonable and the absurd. For example, I knew that the sky was blue, the clouds were white, and that leaves were green. I knew all about the man-made things as well, such as electrical appliances. Cars, trains, bicycles, roads, bridges, skyscrapers, houses, furniture, toys, clothes, food, movies, art, music, books. I knew about all of them. I knew about all of them. When people are happy, they smile. When they are sad, they cry. I possess full knowledge about the range of human emotions. Furthermore, I knew that I was alive and I knew what it took to die. I would die without oxygen. I would die without food or water, and exposure to extreme heat or cold would kill me. If I drank poison, it would kill me. If I jumped from a high place, it would kill me. If my heart stopped, my life would end. If I lost a large quantity of blood, or if my brain stopped functioning, or even if I was lonely beyond despair, I would die. I knew the boundaries between life and death, common sense and the absurd. Somehow, unconsciously, I could judge between what is true and what was false. But how? I was probably able to objectively compare things with my various life experiences and episodes. But if that was the case, then there was something that bothered me. Mirrors. I knew that when I looked in the mirror, the image projected was myself. But despite that knowledge, I had fallen into a delirious state of confusion the night before. Why? When I saw the image, my immediate reaction was, no, this is wrong. In other words, my instant reaction was, this isn't what I should look like, it can't be right. Or to put it more simply, when I tasted the ketchup, I could tell it was made from tomatoes. It seemed like a natural conclusion. So basically, yeah, this gives more insight on why he was confused and why he freaked out. And it's really interesting. I'm pretty sure he briefly remembers what his face looks like. It was because the flavor matched my image of what tomatoes should taste like. My previous night's experience, however, was entirely different. When I saw my own face in the mirror, I thought I was clearly a different person. This was mainly because the face I saw did not match my image of what I thought my face should look like. Before I looked in the mirror, if there had been no image in my mind of what my face should have looked like, then surely I would have not fallen into such a state of shock. Only when there is a basis for comparison is it impossible to tell whether something is common sense. Otherwise, it is impossible to know. The only choice left to me would be to accept the face I saw. Sarah's words to me.
逆に、僕はこんなにまともな顔をしてたんだって、普通だったら安心すると思うんだけどな。
I suppose that might be true, but that was all the more reason for me to be concerned. Before looking into that mirror, I definitely had held a certain image of what my face should look like, but my mental image and reality were different. I began to wonder, it was the image that was false, or a mistaken memory? In that case, I wondered how a false memory could creep into my mind. Ah!
君は誰?
He just... wow. I was shocked when I first saw this. I'm like, whoa, he's remembering what his own face should have looked like.
僕は誰?
I closed my eyes tightly and shook my head. When I opened my eyes, no one was there. In a wild panic, I ran up to the remaining stairs and burst onto his white stock. I know what my face should look like, but the apparition which had shown itself to me looked entirely different. For an instant, I could have sworn that I'd witnessed my own self. But it can't be. That person isn't me. But if he isn't me, who the is he? My head pounded with pain. My overall mental state seemed solid enough, but somehow one part seemed stuck. Exactly what was jammed and how I didn't know. But as soon as I tried to force through the memories, the pain in my head became blistering. Who is he? Who am I? No matter how hard I thought about it, I didn't seem to make any progress. So I decided not to think about it anymore. I turned the off switch inside my brain and headed for the security office. I wondered if I could let it go so quickly, because I learned such a hard lesson of what happened when I tried to hold on. Or was it just because I'd become indifferent to things by nature? Whatever the reason, I was suddenly so calm and collected, I surprised even myself. I went into the security office, and basically he just talks to you. After this, he basically remembers, the poem and shows you. You doesn't mind, because she's in the heat of the moment. You doesn't question it, but I don't find that really important. I just found him remembering his face more important. I don't feel like going through this. Anyway, with that being said, it was this, right? May the 4th, Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle did exist! I screamed out. Yeah, says you. Look, not all fairy tales are fiction.
だからって浦島太郎が実在したとは限らないでしょ。それにね、もしも仮に浦島太郎が実話だったとしても、少年のこととは何の関係もないじゃない。
It does too. We're talking about whether people could actually travel through time, right?
だからわからんやっちゃな。タイムスリップが現実に起こるものだとしても、少年がタイムスリップしたことにはならないって言ってるの。
Then how come I can see the future?
そんなこと私に聞かれてもわからないってば。
It has to be because I'm experiencing the same moment in time over and over again. I must have been stuck in Leimu in the past also. 3 days passed, and then 4, 5 days, and after that I must have slipped through time for some reason. Meaning, I must have traveled back in time to the moment I fell into that pond. That must be why I can look into the future. No, I mean, I must be remembering things I've already experienced in the past, instead of looking into the future to be exact. I don't know how, but I'm probably carrying memories of the past.
じゃあそうなんじゃない？
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, come on, I'm being serious here.
悪いけどね。私にはもっと切実で深刻な問題があるの。考えなきゃいけないことが山ほどあるの。知ってるでしょ、少年だって。理由はともかくとして、少年は予知をすることができる。いいじゃない、別に予知ができたって。あって困るような特殊能力でもないし、むしろあった方が便利だと思う。
You make it sound so simple. But in my case, I don't think it is the ability to see the future. I'm pretty sure I traveled through time. I might even be repeating the same moment in history over and over again. And what's more, I'm pretty sure that amnesia has something to do with the time travel.
もう何回言わせれば気が済むのよ。タイムスリップなんてものは絶対に不可能なんだってば。
タイムスリップ
それから記憶喪失のことだけど、時間が経てば必ず元通りになるの。実際もう思い出しかけてるじゃない。っていうかほとんど思い出してるんでしょ？
Not everything. I just remember things about Sarah. Just childhood memories. I still don't have any memories from the last few years. I have no idea how I got to Leimu, why or with whom. I still don't remember anything before May 1st, the day I came to Lemu. Where I was, what I was doing, or who I am.
はあちょっと待って
Wait, who he was?
少年はマヨのお兄ちゃんなんだよね。そのことはちゃんと思い出したんだよね。
Yeah?
だったらさすがに自分が誰なのかぐらいわかるはずじゃない。
What does the kid mean by that, who I am? But I don't. How can I explain this? If someone were to ask me, who are you? All I could say is, I am Sara Matsunaga's brother. I don't know any other way to answer. Then all of a sudden, you raised her voice and pointed her finger at me.
そういえば大事なこと聞き忘れてた。
Something important?
名前よ名前。
Oh yeah, he still doesn't remember his name.
少年のマヨから聞いたんでしょ。聞いたんだよね。
Oh, does Sarah know?
聞いてないの？
No, I haven't. You shook her head, looked up at the ceiling, and chewed on her lips. She clenched her fist, went to shake it into the air, then rethought it and pulled it back down. You then proceeded to stomp around in the puddle of water. She crouched down and hopped up swiftly. She took a deep breath. I thought she was going to blow it out, but she continued to take one long breath in. And then she said,
あんたバカじゃないの？
Her voice was so loud it shook Lemu like an earthquake. I was a bit frightened that it would tear the partition walls.
どうして真っ先に自分の名前を聞かないのよ。
Well, you probably wouldn't understand this, but Sarah and I had so much else to talk about. We had endless things to talk about, and I just didn't have the presence of mind or chance to think about it myself. For us, the first priority was to regain the time we had lost. And to be honest, I could care less about my name.
あのね少年、よく考えてみて。自分の名前よ。気にならないの？
Now that you brought it up, I'm starting to wonder. When I was talking to Sarah, it didn't even flash through my mind. You sighed with an exaggerated gesture. Well, just put yourself in our position, you. Sarah and I saw each other for the first time in 9 years. We were just so happy, caught up in the memories. But on the other hand, we were scared, in pain, and our hearts ached. All these emotions were mixed up and jumbled together and came flooding over us. Sarah and I were overwhelmed just trying to understand one another. Just like I said, names didn't seem so important at that time. She just called me brother, and I just wanted to call her Sarah. Do you understand?
全然わからない。
You sat down and started to walk off. Hey, wait a second, where are you going? Splashing water, you walked down the long straight corridor. I tagged along beside her and asked her again. Hey, where are you going?
マヨに聞きに行くの。
What?
決まってるじゃない。少年の名前を。
Look, you don't have to do that.
なんでよ。君さっきから言ってることが噛み合ってなくない？完全に記憶を取り戻したいんでしょ？自分が誰なのか知りたいんでしょ？
Oh, of course I do, but...
じゃあ、予知だのタイムスリッパだの、冒頭無形なきテレス話、マヨに名前を聞くのが一番手っ取り早いじゃない。
I thought back briefly to decide of myself in that mirror. I'd been so confused at that time because my face didn't look like my face. The same thing happened when Sarah told me my name. I was afraid that I might feel like my name wasn't really my name and I end up all confused again. Excuse me. To tell the truth, it was a bit scary. Besides, is a name really all that important? Look, names are just a way people give themselves to make and identifying one another more convenient. It's just for convenience. So while living without a name certainly has its own challenges, I don't think a name is an absolute necessity. Take dolphins. They are highly intelligent creatures, but they don't go around calling one another by name. And they seem to be getting along just fine. They seem to be able to identify one dolphin from the others too. They know which one is a son, which one is a wife, and the difference between a gray whale and a killer whale. They don't have names, yet they can recognize things correctly. And, this is just a speculation, but they seem to recognize individual identities. A dolphin seems to have its own sense of self, separate from that of the dolphin swimming next to it, and it is aware that it is a separate entity. Crap, I don't know. They don't have to depend on names to recognize all these things. My name is James. This one next to me is Ling Ling, and that one chasing another fish is Yumemi. I don't think they do that. It may sound kind of cocky, but sometimes I feel humans depend on names too much. If one day this girl you've known as Ling Ling tells you, "Oh, by the way, my name is Lang Lang," wouldn't that throw you off? It'll cause confusion, and you might think, you know, Ling Ling and Lang Lang are really similar, but they're probably just two different people. It seems stupid to get confused just because of a name. Meaning people value, trust, and depend on names more than the actual individual differences. I bet dolphins don't think like that. Because to begin with, they don't have names to identify individuals. I realized that for the first time once I lost my name. I noticed that a name really isn't all that important. You didn't stop walking. I couldn't tell whether she was listening to me or not because she didn't respond to me at all. Does this mean the kid's name is different? Just like his face. Might be, might not. I mean, it would make sense if it was a bit different. Hey, are you listening to me? As we turned around the corner, I asked her.
聞いてるよ。聞いてる。考えてたの。今の少年の話。確かに少年の言ってることもわかるような気がするの。特に私は自分の名前にコンプレックスを持ってるから、そういうこと結構今までいろいろと考えてきたんだよね。
Complex? You don't like your own name, you?
嫌いよ、もちろん。
Why?
恥ずかしいから。この世の中には自己紹介なんていう伝統的な風習があるでしょ。私クラス替えのたびに憂鬱で仕方なくて。
Oh, I remember you said something about your full name being much longer, right? Well, would that have something to do with the fact that you don't like your name?
関係があるっていうか、それこそが直接の原因。
You stopped walking. She had a bitter smile on her face.
知りたい？
What?
君にはまだ教えてなかったもんね。私のフルネーム。
Yeah, isn't it Yubasai Kikana? I guess.
絶対笑わないって誓ってくれる？
Sure.
それじゃあ教えてあげよう。私の本名は田中優美生秋かな。
Yubasai Akikana. That's how you pronounce it. Yubasai Akikana. What? Oh, kid is remembering that is Yubasai Harukana.
優しく美しく清らかな秋香る菜の花。
What? Yubasai Harukana? I butchered that so badly. All of a sudden it was as if I felt a heavy thud in the bottom of my heart. A strange feeling started to take over my body. A sense of something out of place. That's it! That's right! I must have known Yu's real name. Wait, but I've never heard it from you directly. What is going on? This is just like the situation with Sarah. I already knew Yu's real name from before. Yu's real name was... Your real name is... Yubasai Harukana.
Huh?
You said it wrong, didn't you? You actually meant to say Harukana, right?
自分の名前を言い間違える人なんていないと思うけど、まあ私としては春でも秋でもどっちでもいいんだけどね。
Well, Haru wa Aki kana. Yubasai Aki kana, Yubasai Haru kana. Okay.
でも一応戸籍上は秋になってるわけだし。
No!
おへ
？Your full name has to be Yubasai Harukana. It's not Aki. What are you laughing about? This isn't funny at all. You don't remember your own name.
そうかもね。私の本当の名前は リンリンだったっけ？それともランランだったっけな。
Oh, don't make fun of me, you.
少年。よく聞いてね。私の名前は、優美生秋かな。
Yubisei Akikana. Yubisei Akikana. Ugh, Yubisei Akikana. Aki, not Kikana. Can't pronounce Japanese words to save my life.
生まれた時からそうだったし、これからもずっとこの名前を背負って生き続けていくんだと思う。いい？春でも夏でも冬でもなくて秋なの。なんでか知ってる？私は今から18年と7ヶ月前に生まれたの。正確に言うと7ヶ月とちょっとだけどね。誕生日は9月22日。出生地は日本。別に南半球で生まれたわけじゃないんだよ。9月って日本では春だっけ？秋だよね。だから私は秋かななの。わかった？
I was already starting to lose my sense of reality. A bottomless fear crept up from the pit of my stomach and threatened to leap out of my throat. My head started to ache. And then...
お兄ちゃん！ナッキ先輩！
Hi, Sarah. I glanced as I put my hand on my temple. Splashing water in all directions, Sarah came towards us.
あ、ちょうどいいところに。ちょうどいいところ？
Sarah stood in front of us, tilting her head quizzically.
実は、マヨに聞きたいことがあったの。何ですか？聞きたいことって。少年の名前。彼の本名、教えてほしいんだ。
Does Sarah know it? You put her hand over my shoulder. I knew her hand was touching my shoulder, but I couldn't feel it. I was dizzy and about to faint. I thought to myself this would probably be a lot easier if I just faint. But both my feet stood soundly on the floor and I braced myself. I looked at Sarah. Sarah's mouth opened like an empty hollow. I couldn't hear her voice. I saw Sarah's lips were moving, but I couldn't hear her voice for some reason. I couldn't hear Yu's voice either. All I could hear was just the sound of my blood flowing through my ears. Oh, I want to know his name. Does Sarah know it? In that moment, my sight crashed into pieces. The scenery before me was stripped of all color. A voice. A voice. A voice. I have a feeling we're gonna switch to Takeshi. I could hear a voice from afar. From far away darkness. Somebody whispering to me. Who are you? Who am I? Who am I?
北斗。お兄ちゃんの名前は北斗だよ。
My name is Hokuto? What?
北斗か。
Hokuto.
なるほど。言われてみれば、確かに北斗って感じかも。
It does look kind of like a Hokuto to me. Hokuto. That is my name?
そうだよ、お兄ちゃん。
Hokuto, Hokuto, Hokuto. I repeated aloud over and over again. Hokuto, Hokuto, Hokuto. My hunch had been right. I had never heard the name Hokuto before. Hokuto. That couldn't possibly be my name. It didn't feel real to me at all. But Sarah wouldn't lie to me, so I figured Hokuto must be my name. Hokuto, Hokuto, Hokuto. Hokuto is a pretty interesting name. Hokuto. Name. Yu's name is Yubisei Akikana. My name is Hokuto. There was too much to think about. I felt I was close to my mental limit. I was dizzy. My head ached. I looked at my palm. I had 5 fingers. Everything seemed out of place to me. I still couldn't regain the real me. Is this me who's looking at my palm? Or is it somebody that isn't me? Is Hokuto really me? Or is it me who's not Hokuto? Hokuto, Hokuto, Hokuto. Is it really? Oh, Chami! Is that really his name? Tsugumi slightly nodded her head. Her face was all red. So you're Chami, because you're charming. That's cute. What a good name! How cute. That was what I thought. I did my best to stifle my laughter.
ずるい。笑わないって言ったのに。
I'm not laughing. I tried to keep a straight face, but the corners of my mouth started to twitch. I could just imagine Tsugumi baby talking to it. Chammy poo, it's din din time.
もうだから言いたくなかったのに。
Oh, Tsugumi's so adorable. Sullen, Tsugumi was red-faced, but she held out the bath towel she had behind her back. Oh, thanks. I took the towel and wiped myself down. Phew. I breathed deeply, feeling reborn as I glanced at Tsugumi's profile. She was playing with the hamster in her hand, and her cheeks were bright. She looked so happy. It was the first time I've ever seen her smile like she meant it.
たけし、ありがとう。
Tsugumi said in a whisper without looking at my face. I headed towards the EI area with Tsugumi. Since we were in the area with the generator room, we had to take one of the egg-like elevators to get back. I felt excited, maybe from the feeling of accomplishment of rescuing Chammy. But my feet were heavy, my body just couldn't keep up. I was exhausted. 5 hours earlier, I had been running with you on my back, who had started suffering from something all of a sudden. Ah, that's right. And with this to rescue Chammy, I swam over 300 feet from underwater. Is this really just fatigue? This heaviness. I feel a bit feverish too. I have a slight headache. Maybe I caught a cold.
どうしたの？
Tsugumi must have noticed my slow steps and looked at my face, worried. I'm just tired.
大丈夫？
Haha, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired is all.
そう。
Tsugumi was worried about me. It was a funny feeling. By the way, how about yourself?
え？
Your leg, you know? Your injury. Tsugumi was dragging her right foot.
平気よ。
Are you really? The wound didn't open up or anything, did it?
見たい？
Tsugumi stopped walking. She quickly flipped up her skirt with her hands. Cut it out! In shock, I slapped Tsugumi's hand and stopped her. Tsugumi chuckled gleefully. My feet felt much lighter all of a sudden. As for you, it turned out she wasn't as bad as I thought. After resting for about an hour in the infirmary, you regained a surprising amount of her strength. But why did you start suffering like that all of a sudden? I asked you, but she changed the subject and didn't tell me anything. I also asked Sora, but her answer was the same. Sora must have known something, since she had examined you with the repelled LMRI. That thought still bothered me. It was still such that only one person at a time could ride the egg. Tsugumi went up first. I rode up shortly after. The egg zipped upward, quickly arriving at its white stalk. As soon as I got there, Tsugumi was waiting for me. Chammy was sitting on her hand. Tsugumi stuck out both of her arms to the side. Chammy walked from one hand to the other, crossing Tsugumi's arms. Tsugumi had such a happy smile on her face that I couldn't help from smiling too. For no particular reason, Tsugumi and I stared at each other for a while.
やる？
Saying so, Tsugumi put Chammy on my shoulder. I stretched out my arms, and suddenly Chammy charged onto my arms. It tickled so much that I couldn't help but wiggle my body. Chammy looked hesitant when he got to the end, which was the tip of my hand. I held Chammy gently in my palm and looked at him closely. Chammy, huh? Are you Chammy? Well, are you? Come on, answer me! Of course, Chammy didn't answer. Maybe he was frightened I would eat him. No, yeah, he sure is charming. He's Chammy because he's so darn charming. Curious, I decided to ask Tsugumi a question. Why are you called Tsugumi? Your name, I mean. Does it come from Chinese character for the bird? The red wing?
鳥？
If I remember correct, they migrate, right?
ああ、あのつぐみね。残念。鳥とは全く無関係よ。
And then what does your name mean? As I asked Tsugumi, I passed Chammy back into her hand. Tsugumi picked up Chammy and told me,
地球の衛星と私たちがいる場所。
Satellite of the Earth and where we are at. Huh?
地球の衛星は？
The moon?
私たちが今いる場所は？
Lemu.
レミューの外には何がある？
Around us, the ocean?
そう。月に海と書いてつぐみって読むの。
Oh, in Japanese you write at moon and then ocean. Okay, interesting. Oh, I see. Come to think of it, I didn't know what Chinese characters your name used. Moon and Ocean, huh? That's a really pretty name. Tsugumi's cheek turned pink, and then... Oh, Coco. Coco and Pippi came rushing in. I told you not to call me Daddy!
ママって呼ぶな
Tsugumi got the same speech. What?
Huh?
Tsugumi and I looked at each other. Coco's been calling you Mommy, Tsugumi?
たけしの方こそパパって呼ばれてるの
That's so weird, Coco. She keeps doing it no matter what I say.
ねえパパママなんかして遊ぼう
After a while, Tsugumi and I begged Coco not to call us Daddy or Mommy. It took us about 3 hours to finally convince her. It was 3 times more exhausting to convince Coco than to dash with you on my back and swim underwater 102 meters. By the way, Coco's reason for calling Tsugumi Mommy was...
ママのいない人はママっぽい人のことをママって呼んでもいいんだよなんかの気分にそう書いてあるでしょ
So she said. Needless to say, Coco already had a real mother. After finally convincing Coco, I went to see you. Even before I'd gone to rescue Chami, you had seemed to be recovering her strength. But the way she looked when she had first started feeling pain didn't seem normal. I was still concerned about her, even though she looked better. So I decided to make sure you was alright. Sarah told me I could find you in the security office. I entered into the room. You was sitting in front of the console, staring blankly at the screen. I called out a greeting as I sat down in the seat next to her. You grabbed a coffee cup, took a big gulp, and said,
ありがとう
Huh?
まだちゃんとお礼言ってなかったでしょだからありがとう
Yu's eyes were fixed on the display. Are you talking about when I carried you to the infirmary earlier? You don't have to thank me. I just want to ask you a question. What caused it anyway?
原因何のこと
You still wouldn't look at me. A normal, healthy person wouldn't just suddenly clutch their chest in pain, you know? And besides, you said it happens all the time. What is it all about? When I asked, she turned the seat halfway and stood up.
ねえクラナリ私がレミューに来た本当の理由覚えてる
You changed the subject all of a sudden. Yeah, it was to trying to find her mother, or trying to find more about her mother. I don't understand why she was asking the question, but I answered her anyway. Yeah, I do. You came to get a part-time job for the holidays, but it was just an excuse to switch for your father, not mother, oops, for 17 years, right? I remember the story you told me in front of the merry-go-round the first day.
お母さんお父さんのこと死んじゃったんだって思ってもでもね私は信じてるのお父さんは絶対どこかで生きてるんだよだってそうでしょお父さんはただ行方不明になっただけで遺体が見つかったわけじゃないんだし私どうしても確かめたかったのお父さんが生きてるのかそれとももう死んじゃったのか生きてるんならもちろん会いたいし死んじゃってるんなら死んじゃってるんでしっかりとした証拠っていうか確証っていうかそういうのが欲しかったのじゃないと諦めきれないから納得できないから
And just like that, I didn't know what to say to her. The story of the 800-year-old nun came to my mind. You believed that the 800-year-old nun actually existed. How in the story, the sound of the bell had stopped one day, but nobody actually found her body. When I came to think of it then, I realized that was probably Yu's wish. She was probably mixing her feelings about her father's situation with the story of the nun. It occurred to me that way.
今もね実はそれを調べてたところだったの
And did you find out anything?
何もパスワードがわからなくて お手上げ状態。
I looked at the monitor. An authentication window was being displayed. Authentication window was being displayed. The cursor was flashing without a sound. I see. Biting her lip, Yu glanced down dejectedly. She was wrapped in a hazy blue light from the display. I picked up the cup from the table and sipped some of Yu's leftover coffee. It was cold. It's alright. I know you'll see him again. I looked down into the cup. The black coffee hid the bottom of the cup from my view.
ありがとう。でも、もう会えないと思う。
What? I looked up in surprise. Yu was forcing herself to smile. She squinted her eyes and looked off into the distance.
私がここに来たのは、お父さんの聖書を確かめたかったから。だけど、本当はそれだけじゃないんだ。私には、時間がないの。タイムリミットはもう、とっくに過ぎちゃってるんだよ。だから、どうしても、その時が来るまでに、どうしても、知りたかったの。真実を。
She's running out of time? What? She doesn't think she'll ever see him again? It happens all the time. She'd be suffering with her hand on her chest. No, it can't be. I didn't even want to think about it. Closing my eyes, I took a deep breath and tried to shake bad thoughts from my mind. Hey, you. What do you mean by that? Yu crossed her arms behind her back and started walking slowly away, head down. She stopped in front of the wall, turned around and walked back in front of me. The sound of her shoes echoed on the hard floor. The cursor silently flashing on the display. The cold coffee in my hand. I looked into the cup again. The glossy liquid was rippling with small waves.
言えない。
The sound of her shoes stopped abruptly. Why? She raised her face quietly and said,
今言ったら、きっと、話さなくてもいいことまで話しちゃうような気がするから。
But...
倉成は、
You interrupted my words and went on.
倉成は、罪を犯したことある？
Sinned?
そう。神に背くような大罪。ただし、神を信じてるとか、信じてないとか、そういうことは関係なくて、ただ、倫理的に、道徳的に、取り返しのつかない過ちを犯したことがあるかどうか、それ。
Takeshi himself. Yes or no? Well, I guess I might have.
何をしたの？
Well, different things, I guess.
私には話せないようなこと？
I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. I think that sins are something you carry through life by yourself. It seems cowardly to unburden it onto someone else and beg for pity and compassion.
私もそう思う。だから言えないんだよ。今倉成に話したら、それはきっと言い訳になってしまうから。決して犯してはならない一線を私は越えてしまったの。神に背いたの。これは私にとっての現在みたいなもの。絶対に逃れることはできないし、逃れようとも思わない。私は死ぬまで、そう、死ぬまでこの罪を背負いながら、引きずりながら生きていかなければならないの。でもね、ひどいやつだと思われるかもしれないけど、後悔はしてないんだ。むしろ良かったと思ってるくらい。だって罪を犯したのは私だけなんだから。
I have no idea what she's talking about.
だから罰を受けなきゃいけないのも私だけで、彼女には何の罪もないんだもん。
She? Who are you talking about?
私自身のこと。もう一人の私。
Her other self? Your other self? Are you telling me you have split personality? You didn't say anything and took the cup from my hand. She sipped the cold coffee. For some reason, you suddenly tilted the cup. The black liquid, overtaken by the force of gravity, went splashing to the floor. Yu's eyes were fixed on me. There was no expression on her face. All the emotion had gone from her face, and I couldn't read what she was thinking. Her eyes were dark, dull, and without a spark, like a pair of ash-gray glass beads. Eventually, you whispered.
彼女、私の妹なの。
Her sister? Your sister?
そう。だけど、彼女は私自身でもあるの。彼女と私は双子だから。
Whoa, what?
彼女は私の双子の妹だから。ニラ製のソーセージ
No, wait. Remember I said that you was a clone? Whoa, what is happening? So wait, what the game's suggesting right now is that this you right now is a identical twin of that you. What? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Oh. I want to choose the other option. Is this the one? No, wait, that's May 2nd. Is this the one? No. Oh. There you go. Wait, no. There you go. This is the one. Mark. What's it called?
道徳的に取り返しのつかない過ちを犯したことがあるかどうか。
Mark of the original sin. Mark of original sin. Potato Bug DJ. Those are weird names. No. Come on. I've made lots of mistakes, and you know why? Because I'm human. I'll be lying if I told you I never hurt people I cared about or broke their hearts. But I don't know if those are godless, massive sins.
そう。クラナリは偉いんだね。
What?
本気で言ってるんだよ。それに比べて私はもう人間じゃないのかもしれない。決して犯してはならない一線を私は越えてしまったの。神に背いたの。だから言えないんだよ。今クラナリに話したら。
Can I skip this? Oh no, I can't.
これは絶対に逃れることはでき。私は死ぬま。そう。でもね。
Oh, now I can skip. Okay. You yelped right next to my ear. Why are you so surprised about it? Didn't I tell you?
マヨと少年が双子の兄弟だっていうのは聞いてたよ。でも一卵性とか二卵性とかそういうのはまだ。
Well, we're clearly not identical, you. Oh, but I found myself laughing in spite of myself. You cocked her head. Well, of course we're fraternal twins. I mean, I'm a guy and Sarah's a girl.
どうして当たり前なの
Monozygotic is when one egg is fertilized, and then that embryo splits in two. So both twins have the exact same genetic makeup. That's why they're called identical, because they look the same, and of course they're the same gender. So for identical twins, you can't have anything other than two girls or two boys. But dizygotic, on the other hand, is when two different eggs are fertilized by different sperm. So they're two separate entities from the beginning, each with a different genetic makeup. That way, they may or may not be the same gender. They may not even look much alike. That's what I said in the last episode. They're basically just like other siblings. Yeah. So they're more like siblings who happen to be in their mother's body and get born about the same time.
なるほどね。ってことは、男の子と女の子の双子だったっていう時点で、 すでに二卵性であることは確実なわけだ。
Exactly.
で、何の話だったっけ？
You forgot? It started when you said something like, so Mayo and you are twins. But you aren't any good at computers like Mayo is. Mayo. In fact, you got absolutely no aptitude for them. Why is that? And then I said, because we're fraternal twins.
Oh, yay! 思い出しました!
You flared her limbs around on top of the ruins. That's right, you and I were on the top of the Lemurian ruins. So after all that, do you get it?
Huh? 何が?
She paused in her flailing. The reason I'm not good at computers.
それね。こういうことでしょ？マヨと少年には年の離れた兄弟と同じような差異があるわけだから、一卵性の双子とは違ってそれぞれに遺伝した能力っていうのかな、素質っていうのかな、そういうのも全然違うってことなんだよね。
Right. I'd say that our infrared vision is the only inherited trait that we even share. Aside from that, I don't think we're very much alike.
で、その前は何の話だったっけ？
I sighed and started explaining. But before that, I needed to explain what you and I were doing there. It went back to that afternoon, before I knew my real name. Sora came out with some information rather abruptly.
田中陽一さんは今から17年前にお亡くなりになっています。田中幸恵さんも15年前に他界されたようです。
Yuichi was Yu's father, and Yuki was her mother. Both of Yu's parents had passed away. It was unfortunately a fact that was true. There was proof, including dated mail and other files. I had seen them with my own eyes, but Yu still wasn't convinced. In her heart, she still believed that her father was alive. Of course, regarding her mother, she was even more vehement.
だって、お母さんはレミューで働いてるのよ。ついこの間まで一緒に住んでたのよ。それが15年前に死んだなんて。
It was hard to know what to say, but I said this. Maybe she wasn't your real mother, meaning she might not even be Yuki. Yu was shaking her head back and forth as if to say, impossible. After a while, Yu spoke as if in a dream.
あそこに侵入することさえできればな。そうすれば、もっと詳細な内容が、全貌がわかるのにな。
The there she was pointed out was Leimei's high-security data. All afternoon and into the night, she had tried to hack her way in, but kept getting rejected at the confirmation point. She knew the password. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. She kept trying different variations, caps, lowercase, different fonts, Latin, German. She enlisted Sora and Sarah's help, and they tried every possibility they could think of, but all to no avail. Leimei had built a high, impenetrable castle, and Yu was turned back again and again right at the gates. She was stricken with frustration and grief. Finally, exhausted at a loss, she found her way over to the Lemurian ruins. By the time I spotted her, she had climbed all the way to the top. I sat down beside her. Neither of us spoke. But from time to time, Yu would let out a sigh like she had thought of something. Time passed slowly.
ねえ、少年は予知ができるんでしょ？
After about the 153rd sigh, Yu suddenly came out with this question.
私のお父さんとお母さんについてなんかわかることないの？
Well, you know, premonitions aren't the same as seeing into the past. And you're talking about 15 and 17 years ago, when I was only 1, or not even born yet. Either way, there's no way I can look that far into the past.
まったくもう、使えないやっちゃな。空とマヨが悪戦苦闘してた時だって、少年はそばでぼんやりと見てただけだったし。あ、そういえば、マヨと少年は双子なんだよね。なのに少年はマヨみたいにコンピューター関係に詳しいわけじゃない。その資質もどうやらありそうもない。これはどうして？
That's when I answered. I said because we're fraternal twins.
Wow! Banana! Banana!
Banana?
思い出しまし。キュッキュッキュッキュッキュッ出しま
Now I remember. Oh, you. You appear to be malfunctioning. The harsh reality of things must have been too cruel for her to bear. When Sora first told her, you went hysterical, almost crazy, and then burst into a sobbing fit like a child. Maybe she had cried herself out, because since then she had seemed much calmer. But now...
Apple! Apple! Pineapple!
She was in bad shape. Are you okay? Maybe you're a little psychologically strained?
全然平気だよ。私もうこの際だから開き直ることにしたの。うじうじ考えててもしょうがないでしょ。私のことよりも北斗の方はどうなの？
北斗？北斗？
だって少年の名前北斗なんでしょ。だから北斗。
Cut out, don't call me that.
どうして？
I still can't think of myself as a Hokuto. If I was walking down the street and someone called out, Hokuto! I wouldn't turn around. In fact, I don't think I could. It wouldn't seem like they were calling out to me.
そんなバカママのこと言ったってダメだよ。君はこれから死ぬまで北斗っていう名前を背負って生きていかなきゃいけないんだから。
But if nothing else, I don't want you guys here to call me Hokuto. I'm used to being called Kid, and you guys are used to it too, right? You can't just switch in the middle like that.
まあ、確かにそれもそうだけど。じゃあ、本当に少年のままでいいのね？
Yeah, that's fine. I told her how I felt.
そんなに北斗っていう名前嫌いなの？
Listen, for the millionth time, I just don't think that Hokuto is my name. It's got nothing to do with liking or disliking the name. Look, I said this when we were talking about Ling Ling and Lang Lang, but I really don't care what my name is. I'm not fussy and I'm certainly not attached to it.
だけど、どうでもいいってことはないと思うよ。好き嫌いは別として、名前っていうのは一応その人の看板なわけだから。この社会で生きている以上、いつかは必ず名前を必要とする時が訪れるの。例えば、契約を交わす時とか、申請を出す時とか、試験の時とか、なんだかんだ言っても、本人かどうかを確認する時には、名前ってものが一番重要視されるんだよ。いわば名前は、人間を識別するための記号みたいなものね。
Identification. The word just slipped out. And then...
今、なんて言った？
You grabbed the back of my head and pulled my face towards her. What?
今よ、今少年、なんて言ったのよ！
I didn't say anything. I just repeated back what you were saying. You levered a determined glare at me. She raised her finger and twirled it like a magic wand. She breathed in through her nose. I waited for her to breathe out, but she kept breathing in and in. I covered my ears. She grabbed my hands and pulled them away from my ears. And then, with all the air she had just sucked in, she let loose right next to me.
わかっちゃった。
She grinned loosely. I just kept blinking at her. And then...
わかっちゃったです。私わかっちゃったです。
I got it.
I see the room.
All of a sudden, out of the blue and with no warning, she kissed my cheek. A perfect hit. I was a little giddy.
ほら、早く聞いて。
Ask?
ねえねえ、何がわかったのって聞いて。
I did as I was told. Hey, you, what did you figure out?
よくぞ聞いてくれましたそうね。実はどうしてレミの認証をクリアできなかったのか、その本当の原因が分かったのであります。私たち今までずっとパスワードが間違ってるって思ってたじゃない。でもそうじゃなかったの。パスワードは多分あれでいいんだと思う。
Is it the login then?
海月の虚空に涼しホトトギス。
What do you mean?
だからぶっちゃけこういうこと。間違ってたのはパスワードじゃなくて名前だったのよ。
Username?
そう、名前は人間を識別するための記号。本人かどうかを確認するときに一番重要視されるもの。つまり名前が間違ってたら いくらパスワードが正しくても認証は下りないってこと。
Access denied. Invalid name or password. I had seen that message umpteen times.
少年が言ったように、もしも私の知ってるお母さんが本当のお母さんじゃないとしたら、彼女の本名は田中幸恵ではないってことになる。ということは
If you just knew her real name, you could clear Lei's confirmation?
正解。
You tapped my forehead. But how will you figure out her real name?
それは空に聞いてみればわかるでしょ。
Before I could say Sora, you had grabbed my arms. A second later, she jumped down off the ruins with a great cry. Pulled off balance, I flew clumsily through the air. Bam! But managed to right myself like a cat and landed safely. My own excellent reflexes impressed me. As for you, she was sprawled on her belly in a puddle, arms and legs spread awkwardly. You okay? When I called her name, you hopped up. Water dripped from her hair. She was soaked from head to toe.
さあ、グツグツしないで早く行くよ。
She spoke calmly. Flinging off water, she headed toward the exit. From the back, she looked completely dry. I stood for a moment in front of the gates of the Lemurian ruins, just thinking.
少年が言ったように、もしも私の知ってるお母さんが本当のお母さんじゃないとしたら、彼女の本名は田中幸恵ではないってことになる。
So what was her name then? Name. Yu's real name was Yubisai Akikana. Yubisai Akikana. Aki meaning autumn. I think the kid's gonna say she should use Yubisai Harukana for the username. Autumn. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. I broke it down by character. Empty, fall, sky, single, cuckoo, calling, brings, chill. A jumble of bits and illogical fragments. I tried to form them into a coherent pattern, but they slipped away. I couldn't grasp them. But I couldn't help but feel that I had brushed up against another premonition, or at least an intuition. It was a haiku, 17 syllables. I muttered it out loud. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. The empty full sky, a single cuckoo calls out, brings a chill to me. It was then, someone was standing in the darkness beyond the entrance to the ruins. A human figure, a female. Her body was giving off heat, glowing redder than red. I couldn't see her face, I could just see that she was there. She was holding her breath in the darkness, staring at me. Who are you? She didn't answer. She didn't come any closer, but she didn't seem like she was going to run. The figure bathed in light looked like she might be a ghost. A phantom girl.
Hokuto.
Coco? I heard a tiny voice. Hokuto, my name. Was she calling to me?
Hokuto.
Fearfully, I went a little closer. The darkness grew deeper, and at the same time the light she gave off grew more brilliant. Her outline sprang into view. It had to be. She was the ghost I had seen.
北斗のこす海、過ぎし時に通ず。
Hokuto was calling out.
海月の黒雲に涼しホトトギス。
Huh? What did you just say?
海月の黒雲に涼しホトトギスって言ったんだよ。
What is that? Is that some haiku? Why a haiku all of a sudden?
風流でしょ。
Elegant?
みやびやかでしょ。
Refined?
大昔の日本人は突然俳句とか読んじゃってみたりなんかしたらしいですよ。ほいでもってですが、一句読むことによって世俗的な日常をしばし忘れ、優雅な気分に浸ってたらしいですよ。
Oh, is that so?
そうなんですよ。
But listen, Coco, it's not that once upon a time right now, and you kind of threw me off guard with your haiku making there.
でもしょうがないじゃん。
What do you mean you can't help it?
ココ、タケちゃんとお話ししてた じゃないんだもん。
What?
ここはね、今異次元の生命体とお話ししてたの。
Another dimension?
そうだよ。
Apparently Coco was radiating microwaves. Oh, my head, my head. I could feel my brain starting to melt and coming out of my nose. What? Wait a minute. My brains couldn't be coming out of my nose. I rubbed my nose with my finger. Something sticky and viscous was stuck to my finger. It was bright yellow. Crap! Crap, crap, crap. My brains are melting! Oh, Coco, chill up. It's not funny. Stupid. It's your fault. That's my brains. Coco was stamping her feet, grabbing her belly, and laughing uproariously. Hey, actually, 30 minutes before...
ハケピョン、ハケピョン、起きてよ。眠れないんだよ。一緒に遊ぼうよ。
While saying this, she was shaking me, grasping my eyelids and dropping in mermaid tears and squirting mustard up my nose. Unable to withstand Coco's brutal attacks, I meekly went along with the request. Which meant this wasn't brains, it's mustard. Coco toppled over right into a puddle. Splashing the water around, she kept laughing and rolling back and forth. Damn it! Coco, don't you have a tissue?
ハンカチならあるよ。
She pulled a handkerchief out of her pocket and fluttered at me. The handkerchief was soaked and drops of water dripped from it. I blew my nose into it mightily. I blew until I blew out everything there was to blow. Whew, that's better. I balled it up and gave it back to Coco. She carefully folded it and put it back in her pocket. I thought, you're actually putting that back? But held my tongue. So, what were we talking about?
芋虫くにゃくにゃの話だよ。
No, we weren't.
芋虫、芋虫、くにゃくにゃ。芋虫、芋虫、ぷっぷくぷー。
Coco began inching along the floor flat on her belly. I wouldn't say a word.
ねえねえ、ハケピョン、ハケピョン。
I'm not playing inchworm with you.
ねえ、どうして？
I'm just not.
やだやだやだやだやだ。芋虫たい、芋虫たい、芋虫たい。
Coco splashed at the water. I went through this last night. There's no way I'm making the same mistake today. I swore this to myself. I'm going to bed. She jumped up and clung to me, sopping wet.
ダメ、絶対に寝かせないから。
Coco, I'm sleeping whether you let me or not.
なんでそうやっていじめるんだよ。
You're the one being mean, Coco.
ハケピョンは、ハケピョンは、ココを置き去りにしても平気なの？ココ、一人ぼっちになっちゃうんだよ。寂しいよ。寂しいよ。
Why are you being like this? Ugh, Coco. Why don't you come sleep too?
一緒に？ハケピョン、ココと添い寝してくれるの？
No. I don't think so.
ほいじゃあさ、子守歌歌ってくれる？
A lullaby? Oh, you mean that one you sang before? Well, I don't mind singing, but I don't remember the words or the tune.
大丈夫だよ。簡単だからすぐに覚えられるはず。
And saying that, she burst into song abruptly.
長湯店をいし月のせい夢の中より待ち降りぬ今宵柳つくよみ林早く ち降りぬ眠りたもぬくと丸みて眠りたも母に抱かれて若い掲げし水のせい夢の中より待ち降りぬ今宵鳥船渦巻き鬼早く今角待ち降りぬ眠りたもゆるゆるゆられ眠りたも海に抱かれて
What was it? So I'm guessing that was the full version, because there were lines that I haven't seen before. As soon as I heard Coco's lullaby, I felt a wondrous tranquility. I felt a tickle in my chest, like someone had blown lightly on me. This breath blew away all the dust and dirt that had built up inside me, and revealing precious feelings I had thought lost long ago. Precious wonder, like the vastness of the sky, as it seemed to me when I was a little child, or the deep blue waves, or the fragrance at twilight. Back then I thought the ocean went on forever, and I was transfixed by the perfect beauty of the moon. For the better or for the worse, a diligent sweet time. Coco's lullaby called up a sensible mood in me. Lost in its sweet fragrance, I made the mistake of drowning in it. What a good song. What's it called?
さあ、題名とかまでは聞いてないけど、でもね、ココは勝手に月と海の子守歌って呼んでるんだ。
Moon and Ocean. But don't the verses start Moon Sprite and Water Sprite? So shouldn't it be the Moon and Water Lullaby?
だって2番の最後に海に抱かれてってところがあるでしょ。
Oh, that's true.
それにこれママに教えてもらった子守歌だし、だから月と海の子守歌なの。
What? What's the connection between your mom and the moon and the ocean? Wait, mommy, moon and sea? Did that mean... When you say mommy...
つぐみんのことだよ。つぐみんが歌って聞かせてくれたの。
Tsugumi? What? Tsugumi? But that's crazy! That's impossible! But no one knows that lullaby except Sarah and me. Why? Why are you laughing?
北端、自分で言ってること変だと思わない？
What?
北端は今混乱しちゃってるんだ。だからついつい本音が出ちゃったんだよ。北端の中にいる本当の自分がぴょこって顔を出しちゃったの。いい？北端、よく考えてみて。あの子守歌、つぐみんが知ってても別に不思議じゃないよね。だってまよちゃんがつぐみんに教えただけかもしれないじゃない。で、つぐみんがココに教えてくれて。
Wait, how does Coco know Mayo? How does Coco know Sarah? That's not possible.
なんでそう思うの？
Because...
答えられないかな。じゃあココが代わりに教えてあげる。北端はね、ココのいる世界にマヨちゃんが存在しないことを知ってるんだよ。
Yeah.
だから今そんなはずないって言ったんだ。つぐみんが子守歌を知ってるなんてありえない。 そんな風に北端が思っちゃったのも、実はそのせいなんだ。ね、そうでしょ？
What? What? Kid, I'm sort of confused too.
大丈夫だよ。怖がらなくてもいいの。もっと自分の気持ちに正直になって。もう嘘なんてつく必要ないんだから。
I was getting more and more confused. I was being gobbled by one problem after another, being chewed up for a sport, and I felt like I was losing myself. I squeezed my eyes shut, took a big breath, and tried to maintain a grip on reality. I opened my eyes, stared at Coco, and asked, the world you live in, what does that mean?
ほら、またそうやってすぐ嘘つくんだから。北端はココのいる世界のこと知ってるはずでしょ？そこにはマヨちゃんがいなくて、つぐみんが怪我しちゃって、顔の違うもう一人の自分が存在して、そういうこと北端は全部知ってるんだ。
The world Coco's in, another self, Tsugumi injured, where there was no Sarah. What? A world without Sarah? That's right, hang on. What do you... Yeah, exactly! What do you know about Sarah?
は？やっと本当の自分出す気になったみたいね。ではお答えしましょう。ココはね、何でも知ってるから。
Holy crap, what?
何でも知ってるから。マヨちゃんのことも知ってるの。それはどうしてかっていうと、ココには超能力があるからなの。
ESP.
うしししししししししし。
Stop trying to mess with me.
ごまかしてなんかいないもん。本当のことなんだもん。じゃあ逆に聞くけど、北端はどうしてココのこと知ってるの？一番最初影圧室で会った時、北端はココの名前言ったよね。
It was sort of like a premonition, an insight.
ふーん。ほいじゃあさ、ピピのことは？
What?
北端、ピピのことだって知ってるはずだよ。
No, I have no idea.
そう？おかしいな。は、ピピっていうのはね、ココの飼ってる子猫のことなんだけど。
What? Isn't Pippi a dog? Cat?
引っかかった。
Nice.
今ココが子猫って言った時、ビクってしたよね。ビクってしたよね。なんで驚いたりしたの？どうして？北端、ピピが犬だってこと知ってたんでしょ？だから驚いたんだよね。もうとぼけるのはおしまい。演技するのもおしまい。北端はココのいる世界を今までずーっと見てきたんだ。だから全部知ってるんだ。ピーフブラウイルス、キュレイウイルス、EBF、ピグマリオン、テラバイトディスク、
T-Flavirus, IBF, Pygmalion. Oh, I forgot what that was. Was it something that Sora explained that in her ending? I forgot what it was all about. And the terabyte disk, yeah, that sunk to the bottom of the ocean, but yeah.
みんなどっかで聞いたことのある言葉でしょ？ほいからこんなことも覚えてるよね。マヨちゃんと水深34メートルの海の中から脱出したこと。ナッキュと裁縫効果を使って脱出したこと。忘れちゃったなんて嘘ついちゃダメだよ。絶対覚えてるはずなんだから。ココも北端と一緒なんだよ。だから北端の世界のこともココの世界のことも知ってるってわけ。どう？納得した？ココ、北端の知ってることはみんな知ってるの。しかもね、北端がまだ知らないことまで分かっちゃったりするんだ。まだ知らないことっていうのは、これから知るであろうことっていう意味だよ。とはいえ、こんな突拍子もない ないことを急に告げられても頭の中がぐちゃんぐちゃになってて理解できないかもしれないね。だけど必ずいつかわかる時が来るから。だからもう一度だけ言うけど、絶対に自分に嘘をついちゃダメだよ。いい？わかった？
I don't understand. Of course I don't understand!
やれやれ。
Coco, what are you? Why did you suddenly appear in front of me? At those words, Coco's face suddenly clouded over. She scrunched up her face and drew her eyebrows together. Tears welled up in her eyes. She blinked to hide them and spoke quietly.
会いたかったからだよ。ココ、君のこと待ってたんだ。ずーっと君が来るのを待ってたんだ。会いたくてもう一度どうしても君に会いたくて、たった一人で一人ぼっちで待ってたんだよ。
Coco's words drifted into my heart and melted like a light snow. We gazed at each other without speaking. It wasn't what the words said so much as that she said them at all that moved me so deeply. Before I sought their meaning, I let the simple power of her true feelings flow straight into my trembling heart. I couldn't take my eyes off of Coco's sad, tear-filled eyes. Coco laughed softly. I could tell it was forced cheer. The bravery of that laugh gripped at my heart.
ごめん、もう行かなくちゃ。またしばらくの間お別れだね。
What?
ほいじゃあ消えちゃう前に一つだけいいことを教えてあげる。
Okay, tell me.
っていうかもう気づいてると思うけど、北端が見たあの夢は夢じゃないからね。現実に起こったことだからね。今ココが言ったこと忘れないでよ。じゃあね、北端。
Next moment she was gone. Was it a dream about Tsugumi getting hurt? Was that the one? Without a sound, just gone, like a candle snuffed by a weltering night draft. And then I lost consciousness. I sank down into the darkness for a minute. Seems like it's already next morning. Do I want to stop here? I want to go more, but... I think I'll stop. And this is May the 4th. It is now May the 5th. Now things get more intense, hopefully. Okay, that's all. Whew. See you next time.